I have shepherd's pie.
Yes, you do. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
that.
Brian. Oh my! Every time.
It has to be now.
No, it doesn't.
It's always now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. My name is Eli. I am your Archivist / Dungeon Master for this campaign here on 20th Archives, Chronicles of Umaria, Chapter 1, Shadow Falls. I am here, as always, joined by Seven Winterfall, played
Howdy.
by Jared.
Howdy.
Chiselhevard, played by Brian.
Allowing.
Redwood of Velcro played by Casey.
That's a bad roll to start us off.
You got a natural one. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and change this up a bit.
Yeah, because this is far too intense from what I remember we left off on.
Yeah, he decided to kill us anyways. I brought him back, and he's still infected.
Let
Whoops.
me just get the proper... There we go. Last where we had left off, our companions had traversed the knotted rise deep within its crags and its peaks in order to find Ulron, a green dragon who had mentored Redwood within the past. They were assigned this task by Frostbringer, one of the many creator deities of Umaria, who was very closely tied to the Havard family. In their pursuit, they encountered various obstacles and enemies along the way. Finally, they managed to make it to Ulron himself, who, despite his best attempts to remain in control, the blight that had infected him was indeed stronger. After a very close call, summoning some ancient spirits from a heavenly time and place, and a golem given to Chisel by his grandmother, Ulron was defeated. However, Redwood, not wanting to see the departure of something great within the world and a mentor to him, revived Ulron at the cost of his own health. They took shelter in a cave where an avalanche had unfortunately begun, falling down miles and miles worth of mountain space to get there. However, shortly after, the snow had been melted and dried, revealing a grove now within that area of the knotted rice. It is here in this grove. I wouldn't say it's late at night, but it's definitely dark. There's fireflies flitting about. It feels warm, but not uncomfortably so, in a way that is considered humid. Which is very odd considering that it is still very much the beginning of winter here in Umaria. You all are sitting around this sort of campfire made by shrubs burning body. Ulron in a polymorphed human form, horns on his head, long hair, sitting lotus style across from you all in this space. It is safe, it is warm, it is comfortable. Who would like to start us off?
I feel like Devin's gnawing at pretty much a skewered piece of squirrel ration he had left. So, you tell me. But, yeah, I had to get Devin's voice back. old dragons can just turn into people.
Yes.
So
It's just like it's a method of disguise, sort of way of putting it. But since you all already know my identity, it was just I could have gotten rid of the horns and scales and things as well, but I decided to keep them since you already know who I am. So
So that means some people I've helped and was hired by throughout the years could have been dragons. I just never could have known.
possibly.
Fucking hell.
That's not comforting information.
Is that like a test? To figure out if someone's a dragon?
No. If they're disguised and hiding from mortal beings, there is probably a reason for it.
No wonder why I don't see any fucking dragons about. They're hiding.
Hiding, imprisoned, same thing. You all went through great lengths to save me, and for that I am incredibly grateful. However, I'm sure you are aware that your journey is far from done.
Hey, the blight's still all over the place, and we're nowhere near close to figure out how to kill the bastard.
What's wrong, Redwood?
Well, it's something I saw, the other night.
You're a little quiet, mate.
Well, shut up. I'm being nervous, okay?
It's been a difficult day.
It's called roleplay.
You're supposed to.
Well, we were checking for signs of nature in the area and signs of, well, you, and we saw signs of another dragon.
Ulron pauses at that. Roll me an insight check. He is going to also roll here.
May I roll as well?
I would say you can, but you will be doing it at a disadvantage because you don't know Ulron as well.
Honestly, that's fine, because...
You have your sight back. You don't need to... That's
What is this bug that's on my shoulder?
You get your sight back and suddenly you start rolling really fucking well.
I fucking hope
no,
so.
That's the natural one. Well,
Oh yeah,
I think that
disadvantage.
makes sense because Chisel doesn't know how to read faces due to the fact of not seeing.
Yeah. So, Chisel, you try to get a handle. You're used to using people's tone of voice to kind of determine how they're feeling, and
Breathing.
and like general vibe. But you're not used to reading faces, so this is a little bit of a new thing that you will need to learn now that you have your sight back. Redwood. With Ulron's 4 on the die, yeah, he rolled really bad.
So you mean, even with a nat 1, I still beat him? Technically?
No, technically, but nat 1s are nat 1s. I do not.
Fuck your modifier.
So, you look at Ulron and you can see... Remind me again how many years it's been since you and Ulron had last seen each other. I believe it was a good few years.
I want to say 7.
7 years or so? Let's double check that.
I don't know if we ever actually put numbers on my timeline.
While we were doing this, can I just say, the whole Tinker concept of rock gnomes just does not work in this setting.
Unfortunate.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
my journey
Clockwork
began when I was
Toy.
13 years old, and I'm currently 27.
Okay.
So that's 14 years of travel, so 7 years ago.
Yeah. So 7 years is actually basically spot on. 7 years ago, you had seen Ulron. He trained you for a year before that. Gave you basically like, nature magic's weird. Here's some draconic knowledge that I can provide to you, since I was rather young during the world, like the creation of the world, but at the same time I still saw it happen. So like cosmic knowledge in a way that you can kind of understand, dumbed down to a basically like if the Greeks diluted their wine with water, but like a lot.
Why would they want to do that?
There's an entire god dedicated as to why you should do that, but okay, moving on. You look to Ulron, and you remember when you were still learning from him, and he had mentioned another dragon within a very hot and active spot within Umaria. And you remember the look of sorrow that was on his face when he mentioned this dragon? And you remember that mixed with that sorrow was fondness. And you kind of put two and two together and go, oh! And as you're thinking that and putting it together, you hear, Father? And a young boy, about yay tall, definitely shorter than you, about Chisel's height, but Chisel is about the same height as most kids, walks up, clearly doesn't have like the full polymorphing down quite yet, proud red wings on its back, black horns on his head, red scales on the cheeks and on the neck, slight claws, like black claws on his hands as well, draconic eyes that kind of glow in orange. And then, accompanied with him, is a little girl, brass wings, proud, sort of grayish horns, brass scales, somewhat more tan than her brother. And you see she smiles as she follows her older brother, and you see little fangs peeking out from her teeth. You can actually kind of see that she's also still, like, not got the full, obviously doesn't have the full polymorph thing down, so, like, she's got, like, the vents on the side of her neck still, which looks a little weird, but they're, like, it's like she can't really fully control her shape-shifting. They both approach. They get just to the edge of, like, the grass, see the three strangers and the firefox, and then slowly back up once more into the shrubbery, like children meeting strangers for the first time. And
Children? That's me meeting strangers for the first time.
Redwood turns to Ulron, raises an eyebrow. I guess my count was off by one.
Ulron just kind of goes,
Only by two.
They like to play together, so I guess if they left marks behind, it was probably a combined effort to make them bigger. Ulron gestures over to his kids for them to come closer. And as they come closer, you can actually see that the one, like, the boy is trying to kind of, like, tamp down his horns a little bit, so you can see them kind of, like, receding and then coming back and then receding and then coming back, and, like, his little girl's wings, like, twitch nervously. Ulron kind of brings them both over and goes, "Children, this is Redwood. You may remember me talking about teaching and mentoring him a long time ago." And they both kind of they're doing the kid thing where they're hiding behind their parent, like gripping onto their clothes and just peeking over his shoulder. And Ulron's not small by any means either, even in his polymorph form. Ulron is 7 feet tall, so he's got a good decent bit of bulk to him. And so
now
they're
can't unimagine them doing the exact opposite as Chopper and just hiding it completely wrong.
But Ulron goes, it's okay, they're friendly, they're nice, they saved my life. And Eidos, the young brass one, she approaches and goes, "Hi.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you."
Aye, same thing, little one. Never met a little dragon before.
I was not aware Ulron had children. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ulron then looks to his son, who kind of is doing off to the side with his arms crossed, looking away, kind of in a
The cool guy,
the defiant, cool, cheek puffed out. He looks to his son and he goes, "Z-Jet?" And Z-Jet looks to his father, hearing his tone of voice, and goes, "Okay, fine, I'll introduce myself."
I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it.
And approaches. He goes, "Nice to meet you, I guess."
Aye, so he's in that phase now, is he?
He is young. He is very young, so yes. But I didn't tell you about them, Redwood, because they were still eggs when you and I were working together.
I have a question.
Hmm?
You're green. Why are they different colors? I'm so confused.
Their mother had the stronger gene pool.
Okay. And that means what?
He's gonna look at you. Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
I have to find nature. Hold on. It's so tiny.
No, nature big.
Nature big. It's a 10. I think the best way you could sort of think about it is you've got a lot of features of your mother because her gene pool is stronger as well. So you've got her hair color, you kind of have her some of her face shape and her nose, and your eyes are like that of your father's. So the more dominant traits of one parent or the other kind of takes over more. But you're still not really fully piecing together as to why they're red and brass. Fully.
I don't know the color of the mother.
Yeah, you just don't know the color of the mother. So but he looks to both of his children. Fuck, I already forgot the name of the little girl.
Egos.
Huh?
Egos.
Egos, thank you.
Egos where?
Shut up. Egos and Zijit immediately get distracted by fireflies and start chasing them around. And things like that, the way the kids would. And he looks to you and goes, "Haha."
And I'm to assume the mother is the one that you've told me of before, the one under the crag.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do they know?
They do not.
Shan't tell them.
That is... I am assuming, beyond wanting to save my life, which I hope you are all doing out of the kindness of your heart, is not the
Also,
only
out of
reason...
necessity.
Is not the
The
only reason
death
you see
was
here.
more ordered by gods. The reviving was more our side.
He looks... I think you see, like, a flicker of shock across his face, like... Okay, I understand the gods demanding that I be killed, but it's clear that he was not expecting you to be like, it was us who decided to revive you. Because in a way, with
We
the...
just defied the gods.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that you defied the gods. His revival was a group effort, either through magic from both, like, from various degrees, from Chisel and from Seven, poured into Redwood, who then was acting as the catalyst to push those remaining health points into Ulron. But he looks to you, Redwood, and goes, "How did you know? What did you do?"
I have been building my connection with Ithis and getting stronger magic. I have also been experimenting with some of my own to find new ways. When a door was opened to me, and I could learn about the undeath and the connection between this world and the abyss, I figured I could hold you on just long enough to keep you in your chair.
That
You
didn't
are
end.
so quiet.
I'm sorry.
I have you at 150 right now.
I forgot I could turn up my microphone.
There you go.
Well, now we gotta
Now
turn
I
you
can
back
turn
down.
you back down to 100%.
Everyone's like, "You're really fucking quiet." Ulron looks to you and goes, "That's not what I asked."
I made a deal. I don't know what the other side is yet, but I knew it had to be made. Your life is not one I could watch go away.
Well, I appreciate you wanting to keep me alive, even without the knowledge of my children. Making deals like that with any creature is dangerous. I believe I taught you this already.
I was also taught to embrace my power, and I was also shown by Ithis that the fire is what cauterizes the wound and what helps with the injuries. So, I hope whatever punishment or bargain is made, perhaps acting under her guidance makes her more lenient.
You see Ulron kind of rubs his forehead for a moment as he tries to
I
think.
should also make you aware I am acting as her champion now.
That makes two.
What?
A while ago, when we were just newly entering the mountains, Ithis approached me when I had, been knocked unconscious in a rather brutal manner.
So at Death's Door. You can't sugarcoat things with me. I understand your body
No.
language.
Well, I wasn't about to die. I was very close to it and very unconscious. And my arm almost ripped off. Oh, yes, that's new as well.
He looks to you and looks at your arm and goes, "So the sleeveless thing is as well."
Sleeveless thing is just having access to the magic. It also, like, I feel like it makes me look cooler.
You look fucking sick like this, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. He sighs and goes, okay, so, champion of Ithis.
She finally spoke to me and knocked some sense into my head. The fact I'm going to live with fire, I might as well just live up to it.
She has a point.
I'm very well aware she has a point. I did not like it at the time. I had just had my shit kicked in.
Well,
Language, there are children about.
They're in the bushes somewhere.
yeah, you actually kind of hear, you see for a brief moment in like a patch of like really tall grass off to the edge, you see Egos's wings just for a brief moment peek up and then dart back down, and you actually kind of see like the cartoony sort of grass movement of small things moving about in the grass.
Is this a callback to when I was in the tall grass?
Kind of, but also not really because I forgot about that.
I am going to use Gust over at the grass.
You cast Gust over at the grass. What are you trying to do by casting Gust? Are you trying to spook them or something?
Spook them.
You
Oh,
cast.
you were mean.
Roll an intimidation. The DC isn't high. These are kids. You cast.
Being sneaky, haha.
You cast Gust, and I think that moment when you do, Ego squeaks, jumps, and quite literally poofs out of her polymorph form into a small little brass dragon, who just kind of like stands there like a cat would when startled, eyes wide, and then slowly sinks back into the bushes.
You just made an enemy today.
You've just made an enemy today. Ulron says, so what necessity, then, brought about you coming to me?
We had heard that you had been infected. And if you were not to be taken out, then great catastrophe would befall the mountains and potentially the world.
Well, I can't say that they weren't wrong. He then looks to you, Chisel. Narrows his eyes a little bit and goes, you're a Halvard, yes?
Yes.
You are closely tied to Frostbringer, then.
Mayhaps.
Stroking his Frostbringer fan club badge.
He looks to you and goes, you make deals with some very interesting characters, Mr. Havard.
You're a very interesting character as yourself. Do you want to make a deal?
No, that's not what. He gets I think that he's like literally like stunned because he literally was like, what have I, because literally Redwood said, I made a deal with Ithis, and he was like, what are you thinking? I told you not to do that with anything. And then you're like, would you like to make a deal? And he's like, huh?
What are these children doing?
He's like, I think it's literally a moment of Chisel used confusion. It was super effective. He just shakes his head and goes, you know what? Not my circus.
Don't try to lecture me. I'm not your child.
But you are a companion of my pupils. And you.
Child.
He looks to you, Thevan.
Halfway through another shish kebab.
You are in a very unfortunate situation, aren't you?
Hey, got a fake fucker in my head.
He's going to
Is that? I'm very confused.
He moves over. He stands and he moves over to you, and he goes, "I hate to interrupt your dinner, but I think I might be able to help with your little mind problem."
Drops the shish kebab. Do it. Fucking do it.
Okay. He
Now,
was not.
Devin's gonna make a deal.
He was not expecting you to quickly, just immediately, you know, be okay with this.
Fucking with my head for
Drop
far too fucking long.
everything.
Get this bastard out.
Okay, relax.
You've met Devin.
Yes. So
We are the future cautionary tales of why you don't make deals.
Seven, has you stand and instructs you to go lay in a more open area of the grass. Has you lay on your back, cross your arms over your chest. He takes some like dirt and clay and carves a symbol on, like draws a symbol on your forehead, and then like where your arms like meet at the cross over your chest, and then quickly draws out a circle in the dirt around you, which he then lifts his palms over. It glows green for a moment, and a magic circle appears underneath you, which glows from the grass. Anyone who would like can roll me an Arcana check here.
Might as well give it a shot.
Sorry, what?
Isn't that 20 for me?
We all rolled surprisingly well.
You all rolled really,
I got
really
my
well.
I got my eyesight back.
You got your eyesight back. You can see everything now.
I'm
Chisel.
resident wizard.
Chisel and Redwood, you both kind of are looking and you're thinking, oh, he's trying to sever the connection between Seven and Ulron, and not Ulron, Seven and Baroon. I knew the name. My brain stuttered. Trying to sever that connection in a way that makes the most sense to him. And as he's casting this magic circle with one hand, he's beginning to take the other and shift the ground and dirt and beginning to create a sort of something out of it using his magic. Seven, you look to this magic circle and you see him creating, like casting two spells at the same time. He is not only going to sever your connection to Baroon, he is going to create a new connection for Baroon with a physical body that will allow him to move and do and act as he so pleases. Until he is able to get back to the Feywilds, because since he's in your mind, he doesn't have that instant connection to the Feywilds anymore.
He's adding him to the party. Don't let him do this.
Let it ride. Let it ride.
You watch. I don't think you actually feel resistance from Baroon in this moment either, so you don't have to fight or anything in order to force him out. I think he's just as excited at the prospect of leaving your mind as you are of
I think he's just tired of you and wants to walk on his own.
It's like, I'm tired of watching. It feels like a really like bad version of Ratatouille. It's like he can see everything. He just doesn't have his hands on.
He doesn't have control.
Yeah. So he begins to cast that. Seven, your eyes glow green. The sigils on your body glow green. And then the grass and the dirt become flesh, bone, and fur. And grows in size. The grass becoming like a black, like a deep brown blackish color. Massive fangs, huge snout. As a black wolf is formed. And he quickly shunts Barun from your mind into this new body. And as soon as that begins, it ends just as quickly. And you sit up, and you feel around in your mind for a minute. Barun free.
Fucking finally! I can finally do this! I'm gonna swing at Barun.
Roll to hit.
Use advanced rolls. I don't have an unarmed strike here. That's 1d20. Strike modifier 2. 20.
You swing at Barun, sock him straight in the jaw. You hear like the classic like dog yip
Crunch.
as like you sock him in the face, and Ulron's like, "Hey!"
No,
Been waiting to fucking do that since the day we fucking met.
Let them fight. Let them fight it out.
Barun, like the moment he stands up, he's like, "Ah, finally, fresh." You sock him straight in the face. He falls to his side and goes, "I can't say I don't deserve that."
Hey.
I felt that. I felt that.
He's like, "That was the first time in years that I felt pain."
I'm glad I can be the first one to reintroduce you to Lady Pain. Like a whole 5-course meal waiting for you if you want to go.
Ulron immediately stands between the two of you, points to you, and goes, "Sit down."
Fucking make me, old man.
He's going to grab you by the collar of your shirt, lift you so you are feet off the ground, looks to you and goes, "Do not test me. You may have revived me, but I am not in the mood for games."
Fair points.
Puts you down. Once again, gestures back to the fire for you to go and sit.
Begrudgingly picks up the shish kebab from the ground, dusts it off, continues eating.
Disgusting, because there's probably ants on it now.
Brush it off.
Chisel, Redwood, you just watched Seven get put in his place by a higher being for the first time. And it feels good.
We should... How do we write? We need to put this down somewhere.
We need to bring Ulron with us.
Yes.
Bring
Just
Ulron.
staring daggers at Barun. Daddy Dragon's gonna protect you forever.
But essentially, Jared, you now have your familiar companion as Barun. As unfortunate as that is, he is stuck with you.
Redwood's familiar companionship. Loving, caring. Seven.
I will suck
fucking
you till you're
fight me.
dead. I will suck you till you're dead. And then bring you back
Actually-
just to do it again.
Actually, I think, hang on, let's take a pause on that. Familiar thing. For a moment. But he does, like... He joins, like, Ulron and Balrun seem to talk for a moment, quietly amongst themselves. Does anyone have the observant feat?
I have the alert feat.
Not the same thing.
No.
You all can kind of see them discussing, and it seems to get, there's like a moment, like Ulron keeps his cool for the most part. You can see that whatever is being discussed, Balrun is just not happy about. Balrun has got like his hackles raised, he's like got his teeth bared,
I
in
want
like
to see him fight a dragon then.
like in a really defensive stance. And you actually see, it's very clear that despite Balrun's limitations with a physical form, he is powerful with his magic as his body kind of shifts to that of what we know as a lycanthrope, but to you guys looks like a really fucked up wolf creature that stands on its hind legs. And Ulron immediately the moment that Barun gets up on his hind legs, smacks the shit out of Barun, sending him to the floor.
We gotta write this down somehow.
Barun sprawls on the floor, drops that sort of weird half-human, half-wolf form back to the full wolf, stands up. There's a few more moments of conversation, and then they both walk back to the fire and sit down and a bit, like a few feet away from each other. It's very clear that Barun's ego got seriously bruised by whatever happened, both from the smack and from whatever was being discussed. As Ulron sits back down and goes, well, now that that's handled and taken care of, how do you feel, Devin?
Feel like there was this constant nagging in the back of my head, and it's finally gone. Finally. Some peace.
You also no longer have the curse.
Oh.
I mean, that does kind of make sense because he is no longer part of you.
Yes.
Mhm.
You, however, do still have that ability to shift.
Okay.
But it feels different this time. Ulron looks to you and goes, you look confused. Is everything alright?
I can still fucking do this. I shift.
You shift. Looks different. You don't have that weird sort of... It's not monstrous. Not in the same way that, like, it used to be, at least. As you shift, large claws and paws, long snout, fangs, dark eyes, dark fur, almost as pitch black as the rest of your hair. Congratulations! You are the first lycanthrope.
Ooh.
Hey, Redwood, why does he look like a sick wolf?
I don't know.
Barun grumbles, paws crossed, goes, it's because my form changed. Ulron,
Who are you?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Nice to if I can introduce you physically. This is the Feywild kid that's been fucking stuck in my head.
Ulron then goes, this is Barun, a creature of pure mischief from the Feywilds, who unfortunately was shunted into your companion's body through a series of unfortunate events. And has temporarily, at least, lost his connection to the Feywilds. Now,
Lost?
from what I can gather, from simply the magical connection that I needed to look into in order to remove Barun from Seven, Barun's forced removal from the Feywilds resulted in a blocking of his power and therefore connection to the Feywilds. I have a feeling, and you probably already knew this, Devon, such a thing was no accident. Being a being of mischief, Barun follows chaos wherever it goes. It is what he is. He is drawn to it. He's not so much a god or a deity, just a simple being of pure... of a pure concept. As a result, he had been following some sort of mischief or chaos, and during an encounter was shunted into Seven's body and was unable to remove himself for one reason or another. Seven, do you remember anything regarding the encounter that led you to being connected to Balrun in such a way.
May I make a history check?
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check. You
17.
recall that evening trying to find clarity in the bloodshed that you had unfortunately and forcibly caused upon your village and its people. But you do remember you were hunting with your grandfather. You remember making getting lost since it was winter. You had traveled further into the forest in order to see if you can find your way back. Everything was a little bit confusing since the snow that particular time of the year was rather bad. And you stumbled upon a weird sort of dull purple glow coming from somewhere deeper within the woods, and you decided to follow it purely out of curiosity. And you saw a figure silhouetted. You couldn't make the features out because it was so dark, and the light kind of blinded you, but only gave you a sort of general visage of this person, of a more masculine build of someone. I will have to ask, do you believe that in that moment in particular, Thevin would have been stealthy, or would he have been curious? More than that.
I'm just gonna roll straight d20. Below 10 below, he was curious. Above, he was stealthy. He was stealthy.
You were stealthy. You did your best to sneak around. But you were still getting a hang of being a hunter and being quiet and everything. And you stepped on a twig which snapped. You saw the figure pause. You then suddenly felt yourself stuck in place, like you couldn't move. But you could still see and hear and smell and breathe. You just couldn't move your body. You saw the figure disappear into the dark, the glow having faded. And then you suddenly felt a slash happen to your side, which was the scar that Anwin had found when you were in Flexath.
It was when I was real young. Went out for the hunting party. Weather was bad. Found a strange purple man doing weird shit in the woods. I was frozen in place by some kind of magic. Fucker gave me this scar as I pull up the shirt to show the scar.
You show the scar. He looks at it. The scar, when Anwin had seen it, had this weird sort of black veiny thing going on with it because of that sort of connection to not just Balrun, but it was clear that someone had attempted to infect you with something. And it wasn't successful because of Balrun's magical strength within your body in that moment. And Ulron takes a look at it and goes, "Did you get a good look at the person who had done this?"
No, it was real dark. And I knew it was a dude, though.
No, it was a man. He then lifts his own tunic to reveal a matching scar in the same spot. It looks a little bit burnt and the like, because Redwood had cauterized the blight out of it and out of the just general entirety of Ulron's body. But the two scars are basically the same.
Does that mean we have to burn 7?
No. Bad. What?
What it does mean is that whoever did this to you did it to me, and God knows how many other people.
Right. He then looks to the two of you and goes. Well, he looks to the three of you, my bad, and goes, well, you now have your autonomy back.
Aye, fucking finally.
You are able to shift. Unfortunately, I do believe I can smell it. There is a chance of any children that you may have in the future of contracting your abilities, as it were.
Him.
It's a fucking future's problem at this point. If there is going to be a future.
Very
You
well.
mean him having children? That would mean he would have to have a wife. Who would want to be with him?
Aye, it could happen.
Really
This
quick.
world's a big place. We have met a whole lot of people.
Seven.
You're also
Seven, really
extremely
quickly,
rude.
take 2 psychic damage from that insult
Aw.
point.
You're also extremely rude, and just not really a nice
Chisel.
guy when you first meet.
Chisel. He knows.
Take another point of psychic damage.
You'll say I'm an arsehole. I say I just speak my mind.
Out your ass, but either way.
Ouch your ass!
Take another psychic.
No, that was all for shits and giggles, by the way. You don't actually take any damage. But
Nah, I'm taking it. I
you
took those 3 points of psychic
you
damage.
took the 3 points. Alright, fine, we stick with it. Ulron looks to the two of you and goes, or the three, why do I keep saying two? The three of you, and goes, I can't see, and goes, so, I can't exactly, obviously, I cannot leave to join all of you, otherwise I would. But I have a feeling you already have a second destination in mind.
Hey. What was that again?
Well,
Was it the Gold Sanctum or was it...
we first have to go back and deal with
You can join us.
situation.
Can you join us, please?
Do you want me to... I guess I could join you to... I mean, I need to leave the mountains. Anyways.
Ooh, we could very much intimidate that person of interest.
Or I could just sock him in the nuts with my warhammer.
I like that plan. Let's do that.
Wait, what is this about taking us?
I am being forcefully arranged for a marriage, and before we left, Redwood and I figured out they are trying to destroy my family by the inside.
Being threatened.
His family is being threatened. Alright.
I didn't even know that. Now I'm really for the punch in the nuts plan.
No, not just punch.
Kick.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Do you want... I need to leave the mountains anyhow. Would you like me to go with you?
Yes, please.
Alright. You can
Bring
go.
your children. My family will gladly house you three.
Oh, my children will eat you out of house and home.
We did just multiply their entire crop growth for the next year.
Ah. Alright. Well...
And honestly, every dinner's a feast by itself.
Alright. Well, I shall join you, and I shall speak to... What was this man's name?
Fuck. I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember the important name?
Bulbit.
No, I don't.
Bulbit.
Why would his name's Bulbit, but
You
apparently
don't remember your current arch nemesis at the moment?
why would I
Might be
care about
important.
his name?
You plan to murder the man, we should know his name.
Well, let's leave murdering for the back burner.
You just get a new scimitar.
You all have a long journey ahead of you still. But I owe you a debt. And for that, and you watch as he kind of reaches to his neck and gives a slight tug, and 3 scales come. And 3 scales come loose, which grow in size. They're about the size of a person's fist. Beautiful emerald with flecks of gold in them. And he hands one to each of you and goes, "You may use this however you wish. It will be able to serve whatever purpose you assign to it. As a gift of thanks.
Aye, cool.
But I will not be able to join you on your journey beyond the mountains after this."
I think that's fair enough. Especially if we can just hitch a ride.
Can definitely make a ride happen. And we are going to go ahead and cut to I'm gonna need everyone to roll me Constitution saving throws really quickly.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No thanks.
Watch me get at 1. Close, 9.
6.
I can save someone from that. I can save someone.
What do you mean you can save someone?
By using my reaction, I can give them advantage.
Okay. Who are you giving advantage to?
Redwood, because that would be a 13.
Okay. Still
instead of a 9.
Still unfortunately not enough. We cut to this scene of a proud green dragon and his 2 smaller children, Red and Brass, flying beside him, with everyone on the back of this beast, flying through the air. Baroon in his claws, underneath him, so that way he is still with you all, but not riding on his back. As you all fly back.
It's like when you pick up a dog and their arms are forward.
Like that awkward, like, put me down look. He flies you all to the Havard home, landing in front of that entrance. Your mother actually is, like, gardening Chisel, and you can see her, like, she's gardening, she sees this shadow of a dragon fly over. She looks up, her eyes widen,
As Chisel slightly wavering.
And she sees this massive dragon, his 2 young children, and the rest of you on his back. And she looks up, her eyes widen, she sees you waving, and goes, "Oh my god. Brent!" And she runs inside the house. You all land. When you do, the entire Havard family swarms themselves outside through this door. Your mother and father being the first to go outside. And they wrestle you basically into a hug once you get onto your feet. Ulron and his children polymorph into these human disguises, like to these human forms. And everyone's kind of like wary of them because, you know, fucking dragons. But I think the kids like start warming up to them first, and then just like the rest of the family is like,
well, it's kids and kids, so
yeah. And so like eventually it's like everyone kind of settles in and gets used to each other.
By the way, mother, father, we have guests for dinner.
Yes, we see that. What? Who? Who? And then Ulron approaches and goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you both. I am Ulron. These are my children, Egos and Zegret." And the two
Zejet.
Zejet, thank you. Zejet and Egos are kind of like standing by their father's legs. As they kind of like look at these people who are clearly adults but the same size as them and go, "Why are you so small?" And Ulron is just like, "Egos!"
I mean, look at Chisel. Shouldn't it be obvious?
But have,
Because that is how we are born.
Yep.
Do you see Redwood and Thevin?
Yes.
That is how they are born. They grew up to be that big. We grew up to be this big.
But-
Devin looking at his blight touched now like blood drained skin.
I
She-
was missing an arm.
Zejet looks to you, Seven, and goes, "You look like you're dying."
He is. Don't
Probably.
worry.
Jeez.
He is.
I don't feel like I'm dying though, so I think I'm still good.
Wait, does that mean you were born without an arm? His Egos like looks to you, Redwood.
No.
What happened?
That's just more. I didn't take care of it and it fell off. Take care of your arms.
Are you doing another intimidation thing here? Are you like messing with these kids?
I
Roll
don't
me-
feel like it's intimidation. I
Roll-
just feel like, well, I
roll
didn't take care of it and it did fall off.
Roll me either performance or deception.
You have advantage on deception.
I have advantage on deception because of the cloud rune. Take care of your arms.
You see Zejet and Egos immediately like hug themselves and scurry away.
Redwood, why would you do that?
I'm sorry, I'm flashing.
I really didn't take care of my arm and it did fall off.
My mind's
A
flashing.
monster broke it off.
Yes, I should have been more careful.
Hey,
Now they will be more careful.
They're going to be washing their arms. I know it.
Is that a bad thing?
It's actually rather helpful because grime really gets in the arm scales, so it's great that you really actually like did that. Thank you.
You've traumatized two children.
Oh my god, my laughter hit squeaks and my chair was also squeaking.
Chisel. I was traumatized. My sister was traumatized, and we turned out fine.
Oh no.
No!
Shrub is like, "I don't think that counts, buddy."
You traumatized yourself most of the time.
I don't traumatize myself.
Baroon is currently like standing there with a very unamused expression as a bunch of kids are climbing over this really big fluffy creature, and they're like riding him. They're like pulling at his fur and on his tail and like on his leg, and basically he's getting his comeuppance for everything so far. Anyway,
He is now a
jungle gym.
jungle gym. Thank you.
He's a jungle
Devin
gym.
with a piece of sugar bread leaning on a wall, enjoying the show. Serves you right, you bastard.
Everyone goes into the home, and luckily when you guys had arrived, your mother was in the middle of making lunch, which, as you had stated, Chisel, before, food in this home is a feast. There is a fresh kill from earlier this morning on the table, massive hog, plenty of things like poultry and other meats, deer. There's a few special desserts that your mom quickly whipped up when she saw that you were home. Some of your favorites. And then I think in this moment, hang on a second. Let me see something here.
Oh no.
I would like to mention I cast a little mage armor on Baroon because no one deserves that.
Okay, you can cast mage armor, but it's not gonna help with kids crawling all over him.
Or
It helps
tugging on his
protect from
tail.
some damage.
So with a natural 20, your mother looks to you, Chisel, sees the vibrancy of your eyes compared to the dullness, and covers her.
He's just gonna silently hold out his hand before handing her the headband.
She takes the headband, looks at it, looks at you, and just once again tramples you into a massive chunk. Throws her arms around you, hugs you, tears of joy, so happy that you not only succeeded, but were rewarded for your success. Your father smiles off to the side. And your family is very much uproarious. They're enjoying themselves as you all eat and have a good time. Until, unfortunately,
Fuckwood appears.
Yeah, Fuckwit appears. Bulbit arrives. Bulbit and some of his family enter and see you all here and goes, "What is this?"
It's
I
a
was-
fucking feast. What do you think it is?
He looks to you, Chisel, and goes, "I was not made aware of your return, Chisel."
You weren't. Oh, that
No.
does make sense. We just arrived.
Chisel, roll me an insight check.
I am going to. Oh, that's Arcana. Never mind. Insight?
Mm-hmm.
7.
Alright. I'm gonna extend a hand here and say, Redwood and Seven, if you would like to roll insights as well, you may.
Mm-hmm.
7. You clock
Yeah.
it. Bulbit, you can see it was very clear he was not expecting you three to survive the encounter with Ulron.
Hey, a bit of a surprise, ain't it, to you, huh? Have a little more faith in the lad.
Yes. Slaying the dragon was actually the easier part. The harder bit was resurrecting him.
That might not need to know that
Really?
part, but okay.
Really difficult.
Ulron is sitting at the head of the table since he's kind of like the head guest, his kids on either side of him.
I am going to send a little message of, that's the bitch.
You send a message to Ulron. He glances at you briefly, acknowledging that he has received it, but he doesn't send a response back. And he's kind of sitting there, hands steepled together, shadow kind of over his face in this moment. He looks to you, Chisel, and he doesn't try to mask this, so you don't need to roll insight or anything, but he looks to you with a silent question of, do you want me to intervene?
I'm gonna slightly shake my head no.
Okay.
Kind of just silently saying, wait till my family is in danger. Then intervene.
Ulron nods, sits back, returns to his food, but is keeping a very close eye and ear on the conversation at hand. Bulbit is very angry. as it's very clear. He's like looking at the table. There were no plates or anything set up for Bulbit or any members of his family to come and join for the feast.
Almost like it wasn't planned.
Yeah. And he is not happy about it. He then proceeds to look to Chisel and go, "Well, now that you've returned, I am safe to assume that we will be continuing the arrangements of your marriage. Yes?"
Wait, I have a question. Why are you pushing the marriage so much? You're
when he
signing away
says
your
this,
own family away.
when he says this, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Are you just trying to get the basic thoughts, or are you trying to delve deeper?
For the moment, I'm just skimming because Chisel just brought up the why, just to see what comes up on the surface.
You cast Detect Thoughts in this moment, and the first thing, like the first few things you get is, why is he alive? He should have died. I made every precaution to make sure that he should have died. Why isn't he? And then when Chisel asks this question, he goes, shit. You don't get anything more than that. He looks, but his face is a decent mask of stoicism as he looks to you, Chisel, and goes, it's just, it will benefit both of our families if it happens. That's all.
I would like to roll intimidation to get the real question, to get the real answer.
Roll me intimidation.
I have advantage because of the frost rune. Where is intimidation? There's intimidation. 18.
He's going to roll insight on you. You ask this question, you stare him down, but he doesn't budge from his original answer. He unfortunately got a nat 20 on his insight check. I need to put this dice away because this is also the third nat 20 that's rolled today.
Nah,
Yes,
keep it.
please.
Torture
No.
us.
He doesn't show any signs of letting up on his answer. And Redwood, you're listening to these thoughts, and in the suddenly louder than any of the other thoughts that Bulbit has, you hear "fuck it," and he pulls out a sort of, it's a very shiny, it's basically a mirror, because you guys don't know what mirrors are fully yet.
It looks like ice.
It looks like ice that is very much perfectly reflecting everything back as he lifts it and smashes it to the ground. And as it smashes to the ground, there is a sudden gust of wind that is very much unnatural. And in this moment, black and purple fog twists and roils and turns and reaches out like tentacles, trying to reach for something, anything to connect to. The mirror shatters.
I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
Ooh, okay.
And I would like to give him advantage due to frost rune. No, frost storm rune.
Okay.
And
And because this feels big, I'm going to use my highest level spell slot to cast it. I'm casting at 5th.
Okay. Spell magic. So yeah, go ahead and roll me uh that ability check, please.
If it's higher than 5th level, I have to make the roll. If it's 5th level or lower, it just ends.
Roll that save.
It's higher than
you do
fifth.
have advantage.
Okay. And it's an ability check plus DC. DC is 10 plus my spell level,
Spell.
so I have to roll 15 with my spellcasting ability. Alright. So, wisdom.
Hey.
You cast Dispel Magic. What does it look like as you cast the spell? Because I don't think this is the... I think this is the first time you've cast it.
This is technically the first time we've ever dealt with other magic.
First time into. I think what it looks like is all of the tattoos across Redwood's arm light up with that red weave, and it leaps off of his arm in this sort of spider web, grasping at the effect and pulling it closer and tighter and smaller. And I think once it becomes small enough, about the size of a baseball, it pulls back to Redwood's hand. He holds it in there and smothers it.
You hold it in your hand, smothering it. Ulron stands from where he was sitting, and the moment that he does, part of his polymorph drops, and his wings unfurl, and he shouts, "Enough!"
Daddy's angry.
Bulbit, immediately seeing this, shrinks, and Ulron closes his wings, goes across the room, grabs Bulbit by the collar of his shirt, goes, "You will not harm this family." Bulbit pales, all the color draining from his face in this instant, and Ulron drops him. He falls to his knees. And Ulron says, "You will explain your actions now." Bulbit, terrified out of his mind, looks around and goes, I did what I had to. But he doesn't give any more of an answer than that. Ulron looks at the pieces of the shattered mirror and back to Bulbit, and then looks to you, Chisel, sniffs the air. Light infused.
He was planning to curse my family.
Mm-hmm. That's what you gather.
Chisel's gonna lose control and enter his giant form.
In the middle of your... Okay.
Is there enough room for a large creature?
There's barely enough room for your friends.
So no.
The
Okay.
answer is no.
Okay. But I am going to lift Bulbit up. Since I now have... I am classified as a large creature, but my size does not change.
Okay.
I have advantage on all strength checks and saving throws. I am going to lift him up into the air.
Okay.
And I would like to roll intimidation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who tasked you for...
Yeah, go ahead, roll me an intimidation with advantage in this moment.
17.
Doesn't matter. You tell him who tasked you with this, and there is a stench as Bulbit soils himself at being both manhandled by Chisel and
A
Ulron.
shorter person, by the way.
Yeah.
And his backup strat got turned into a baseball.
Yeah. So, and he kind of like breaks down. He's like, I don't know. I never got his face or his name. He just told me to do it. He promised that if I did it, things would be fine. I would get what I wanted.
If I ever see you again, I will make your head crush like a grape. And I drop him.
You drop him. And his family members that are with him quickly scrabble to grab him, dragging him on shaky legs away, and, from your best guess, out of the mountain.
Fucking love this form of Chisel.
Ulron puts a hand on your shoulder, Chisel. Nods at you in approval, since you didn't instantly resort to violence. As tempted as you probably were.
The threat was not going to be a threat.
The threat was not going to be a threat, but it was enough to get him to leave. Combined with the backup of Redwood sucking the magic away, and Ulron lifting him into the air. But he looks to you, Chisel, and goes, "You are strong. You have a good heart.
I live for the family. Since you are family to Redwood, you are family to me. And my family. Welcome to lunch."
He smiles.
Now get ready for second lunch and dinner and second dinner.
No, it's dinner and then dinner.
Devin
Yeah.
was spending this entire counter with a bowl of soup. He was like watching everything go down.
Just sucks up the magic and then just starts eating again.
I guess
That's all the moves that I have.
Oh, you just shucked them.
I used all of them.
Alright. You all take this time to rest and relax after such a harrowing experience not even 24 hours ago of killing and then resurrecting a dragon, meeting his children, discovering the plot of Bulbit. The next morning...
Intimidating Bulbit to almost death.
Yeah. The next morning, you all fly on Ulron's back down to the base of the Knotted Rise. He goes, I can get, because of the river, he takes you across the river, so that way you guys don't have to deal with that again. He takes you across, landing you by these large, sort of jagged, not necessarily mountains, but not cliffs either. They're like these large, sort of spike-like stones
Hills.
that jut out, and it's really hard to. It's as if like there's like a hand reaching up and holding it, made from ground itself, of the Golden Sanctum.
We'll say that every day now.
The Golden Sanctum was a. It's like he doesn't shift out of his dragon form, but as he lands, his like voice carries because he's so much larger now. He goes, "The Golden Sanctum was created for the humans after the first revision by the gods. So it is not only a holy place, it is a very well protected place."
Aye, that sounds nice and good. Though knowing our luck, the Blight's already here too for some reason.
Well,
Stephanie, please don't jinx
Oh,
it.
wait! The lizard girl.
lizard?
No.
Wizard?
Gizzard?
Do you know that term?
Glizzy?
Yes, I am familiar with the term wizard.
I'm one of those now, and there's a woman here who is the originator of the term.
She is actually not within the Golden Sanctum. She is within the village further down on the coast.
We're closer.
I do know that is the spot that you wish to go, but she is not at the Golden Sanctum. She is in, Fastial. That's where she is.
Then what are we even doing here?
Nantius.
Yeah.
You know, the one that you nicknamed Sustius.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we can leave him alone.
Ulron. Brian's just like, for fuck's
Ugh.
sake. Ulron looks to you three and goes, "I will be taking my children and Baroon to a safe space. We'll probably not be on this side of Umaria for much longer.
This
Yes, there are more lands of Umaria beyond just here."
What direction?
Oh, fuck. Don't fuck with my sense of direction. Now's not the time to do this to me.
is it east or is it neast?
It's
Is
nice.
it east or neast?
Ice? That's a different campaign.
To the west.
It's
Why?
not nice, it's nice.
No, it's the east.
Is it the east? Fuck.
Yeah,
Yes,
east
look at
of
the map.
where we're at, Matt.
We're on the most western part of the map.
Yeah.
You use the compass rose in here to help yourself.
I have. There's like a little compass thing at the. But it doesn't have.
No, you got a compass rose that's unlabeled,
Yeah.
which helps no one. It looks cool. Not
It looks-
helpful.
It looks amazing. It's just
It's okay. Look. You know what? It'll be fine next campaign, so I'm not
So
worried about it.
So he gestures east. Seven, having traveled the continent a fair bit, it's like across the fucking ocean.
Yes.
aren't the roads over there?
What?
Past the ruins, mate. Past the ruins. Out into the open ocean, the water.
I'll tell you guys later.
He like looks he looks to you. and
There's
goes,
there's a rumor that half my family's on that side.
Oh, I believe it. The land used to be one large mass.
So the
Why are
one
you
that's
talking nonsense?
Oh no.
This motherfucker don't even know about Pangea.
This motherfucker don't know about Pangea.
So what you're saying is that one day we just need to make a big old raft and shove off.
Raft.
What's a raft?
Aye, you strap a bunch of wooden logs together with some vine or the rope, and you just float.
You may as well swim that.
Congratulations,
Well, it is very
Steven.
heavy. Obviously, it would sink.
Congratulations, Steven. You are the first person to come up with the concept of the raft.
There's lakes and stuff in the Not Rise. Knowing that
No
you would have done
boat.
something stupid.
So, but you all are just outside the sort of cusp and grounds of the Golden Sanctum. As Ulron looks to you all and goes, "This is where we all will be parting ways. Again, I thank you for saving my life. I thank you for protecting my children. I
I would
wish
hope we meet again under easier times.
better circumstances."
Devin kind of walks up to him and is like, I promise you, you have my word. I'll find the bastard that did this to us and make him pay.
Gives you a smile, nods, and goes, "Well, I must be off."
Right.
He then, I'm gonna need everyone to roll me strength saving throws, as the gust from his wings is so strong. Chisel and Redwood, you both fall flat on your asses. The gust from the wind of his wings is so strong as he pushes himself up off the ground. You see trees in the area shake
Eyes.
by, like, heavily in this moment. Devin, you being so close are kind of expecting it, so you kind of just, like, cover your face and brace yourself.
I feel like that would have planted his feet into the ground. And been
AC, that does not look
repose.
comfortable.
Ah.
See, that
That's
does
as
not.
far as I can fall over sideways without knocking my chair over.
I got dust in my eyes.
Um,
I don't think I would have missed not seeing so much. Ah, my eyes.
Oh,
Oh.
rub him a little bit. They'll be fine.
I forgot my chair could do this.
Bye, Casey.
Bye.
Casey is now leaning backwards in his chair.
It scared me.
It fully reclines. You all look, you see this sort of what I can describe best as this sort of Aztec-looking temple, multiple large stone steps, and blocks that have been shaped. So it's not multiple. It's not like multiple blocks of stone piled on top of each other to make this. It is one big thing of stone that had been carved and shaped by the hands of the gods, including stairs and everything in on the outside. The stones seem to act as sort of like this semi-protective dome around it.
That seems like giant work.
Hey, it could be. Question, lads. Should I, as I gestured the bandana, because that one this time I had it down, letting the scars show, but since we're re-entering normal civilization, he's like,
Hey!
should I cover it up?
Yes. Put the mask up.
Hey,
We don't
fine.
know people.
Yeah.
Should I put my
Fair
bandana
enough.
on? Like,
Why?
to cover the scars over my eyes?
And
Hey,
you
but your scars are.
Ours are normal. Extra mouth isn't.
Hey,
yeah, that Shrub's like, yeah, that one's weird. That one's a little weird.
especially since it's kind of the shape of a smile, a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go in? Because it's just gonna get colder.
Yeah, we should probably go in. You all step in.
Shrub, you're white again.
Yeah, because it's cold. Shut up.
You're made of fire. How are you cold?
I can still be cold.
Hey,
I'm
also
constant-
remember?
I'm not constantly lit on fire 24/7. Do you know how much of a hazard that would be? Also,
No!
also, Redwood, do you light Shrub? Do you use your wild shape?
I'm
to
not
light
on
Shrub?
fire all the time.
You all enter this space, and it is not covered in snow.
Well, we did say it had a dome over it. At least half dome.
It is. Oh, music is being weird. Are you guys hearing anything?
No.
No,
Hold on a second.
nothing playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to play something. What is happening? You all. But it's not necessarily that there's like, you know, no snow. It's like it's summer here.
So you're saying it's getting warmer.
It's warm here.
Okay, so Chisel's going to slip off the heavy duty winter cloak he has on.
Redwood rips off his sleeves again.
I was like, why do you keep doing that? Stop that.
Well, sometimes it's cold, and so I need to reattach them, and sometimes it's hot, so I need to take them off.
Or you could just roll them up.
Or you could just take the robe off.
No.
You're weird.
Bevan's attire does not change in the slightest.
No, it doesn't.
You're wearing sandals. Excuse me.
You wore sandals in snow and mountains. You
You
Yes.
don't get to talk. You don't feel anything.
Your feet are fucked. But it's lush, it's warm, it's beautiful. It's not cold. And you remember and as Ulron said, it is protected. It is holy ground. So not even the harshest of the weather within the winter of Umaria can reach this place.
Is this what summer looks like?
Hey,
Where's this?
pretty much.
Where's this spring?
This is summer. Casey, what are you doing?
I don't know.
In case
The
you ever
weirdest thing I
noticed.
can do is recline.
Shrub looks around and goes, "It feels nice though," as she says that you all can like see the white slowly shift back to like the orange and natural browns of her fur and stuff.
That's still a little weird.
I don't know what you want me to tell
She
you.
lights on fire.
Oh, remember,
That's
guys.
the weird part.
Chisel's saying
She
all
can
this
talk.
pretty much for the first time.
She can talk, teleport, light on fire, shoot fire, and create a wall of flames. And the weirdest thing is that she changes color in the weather.
And I used to not be able to see. So, what do you expect from them?
Well, guys,
Something
slack.
changing colors is weird.
Wait till I tell you about chameleons. It's gonna blow your fucking mind.
What?
Okay, Shrub is canonically seeing chameleons.
It's a chameleon.
Motherfucker, where?
What's a chameleon?
We'll get into that later. You will move further closer to the sanctum, and when you do, you see that it's not just like the temple itself. There's actually like a village here. There is homes made of wood and stone and animal skins, similar to like the privacy doors of the Emmanuel doors of like the dome stone houses that you guys had originally seen. Moving around in them are various clergy members. You see people with bandanas, and you see some without. You see some without. Following
What?
behind others. You see that some of them have like, it's very clear like which ones have higher status, which ones don't. And there's even like a portion of grass that's like off to the side of like this path made of like essentially gravel. That is like a group of young clerics, all of which without their bandanas.
There's
With-
more of them.
With
It's a cult.
holy shit, it's like most religion in Dungeons and Dragons. Who would have thought?
Yes, half of it is a cult.
DC, I'm gonna smack you.
Redwood,
Um,
what are
Do
you
it.
talking about?
Yeah, fly down here and smack him yourself.
I can't say anything. There are too many ears.
Shrub's looking at you and going, "You need to shut up."
Hey, who?
Shrub.
No, Steven's like,
From you.
up to who?
Shrub to Redwood.
Ah.
You're just being
From
weird.
Shrub.
You're being weird. These are nice people.
Hey, Shrub, has he been eating the funky mushrooms again?
I don't know.
Wait,
We
when
should
has
probably
Redwood ever
watch
eaten
it.
funky mushrooms?
One of Redwood's eyes goes the complete opposite direction.
They would just slowly drift.
Anyways, you're all, and so you see apprentices, future clerics. There's even children here. It's very clear that it's, a very open and very welcoming place. And as you step in, you see
Alarm bells just start ringing.
you see, you actually, as you're stepping in, Nuntius, standing at the base of the stairs that lead up into the main entrance of the temple itself, of the Golden Sanctum, is standing there speaking to a few other clerics. He is now wearing nicer robes compared to what he was wearing when he first met you all. It's very clear that after the incident involving the head oracle and the companions that he had traveled with, the incident and everything had resulted in a promotion of status for him, not to the position that he is supposed to eventually take, but it's very clear that he is now a little bit more respected and his opinion matters a little bit more. He looks to the side as he hears you all approach, and he smiles and goes, "Oh my god, the three of you are alive."
Hey, it's been a
Is
while,
that
no
what he
news.
looked like?
Hey, yeah.
I had a completely different image of him.
Well, to be fair, he has a lot nicer clothing now. He had rags before.
Yeah.
No. I was thinking he was going to be slightly taller, a little darker on the skin tone, slightly more brown eyes than what he has now.
What's wrong? What's wrong with my eyes?
Oh yeah, and if you can't tell Nuntius, Chisel can see now. He
I
fixed his eyes.
have. He looks to you, Chisel. Looks to you, Redwood. And his
He
eyes
got
wide.
his eyes. I lost an arm. He got fucked up.
Oh yeah, and this is Balroon, the guy, the fucking fey that
No.
was in my head.
No, Barun was with group.
Barun was with Ulron.
Oh, I thought you stayed with us.
No, I
No.
decided
He
I
got
was.
dog carried away.
He got dog carried. You don't have to deal with him anymore.
Okay.
You still have your
Well, no-
transformation. You still have your transformation, but you
Yeah.
don't have to deal with him anymore.
Okay.
He looks to the three of you, but he looks to you, Chisel, and to you, Redwood, and goes, "Wait a minute."
Oh yeah, Redwood also got younger.
Yeah, there's also
Oh,
that.
Also, I think also Devin becoming more purple and pale happened after we separated too.
Yeah, so you guys all look different levels of fucked to shit right now.
I will say I look the least.
Yeah, you look the least, but at the same time, it's like you all clearly went through some drastic changes in the past few months since he's seen you. And he looks to you and goes, "What happened?"
Right.
Well-
So as we said, Chisel got his eyesight back. Redwood's been fucking around with magic, being something like a lizard, wizard, gizzard, something like that. And in the process of some of our adventures, got his arm ripped off, but we got a new one, so it's okay now. As for me, I learned some new kinds of magic. I made some magic items. Experimented with the bright a little bit. Also, the balloon, the fair fucking nerd that was in my head, causing my transformation to go all apeshit wild. He's gone now. He's a dog now. Now I'm free of that.
You
wiped
Also,
out
we met a
Blight
giant, we met a goddess, and we killed a dragon, or resurrected said dragon. And said dragon also has some kids. That said of dragon is also Redwood's father, or question mark?
Parental figure.
Parental
Not natural
figure.
father.
It's similar thing. okay, we
Duntius
met.
is having like a blue screen reboot essentially as you're like rapid
Alright.
firing all this
Devin?
information.
Devin,
Hey.
I'm going to give you the simpler version.
I think that's as simple as enough.
We fought off Blight in Imaurum. We went southward towards Flexath. Is that the right word?
Mhm.
That's the right area? I can't see the map currently. We went down towards Flexath, wiped out a corruption of cannibals in that area and people trying to manipulate dark magic and a corrupted haven tree. Then we went up towards the mountains where we fought off a dragon. We killed him and then we brought him back.
I think roll 20 is having issues.
It is. It had a
It's not-
stroke.
It's not loaded.
I'm still fine. But he looks to you and goes, right. Okay. So that was what that big shadow was that was passing by earlier then.
Aye.
Okay. That
That
makes
was my mentor.
wait, your mentor is a dragon.
Yes.
The parental figure.
I see. Well, welcome to the Golden Sanctum.
Thank you.
One of the headquarters and main base of operations for the Order of the Golden Thread.
Hey, cool. Hopefully, don't turn into a bunch of plant zombies this time.
Sacred ground, highly protected.
So
Nothing.
was the last one.
Yes, but this time there's actual like. This is. Shut up. And he goes, I
Giants make this place.
actually don't know who made this in specific. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants had a hand in it. But anyhow, welcome. We're glad to see that the three of you are alive and somewhat well. I can tell you're all exhausted. You will be shown accommodations while you stay. I have found information that will be proven useful. Holy crap.
Or
I didn't know what you wanted. Thank you, Mom.
you're welcome for that.
My mom brought me food.
Roll 20's down.
Roll 20s.
Like down.
Okay, that's fine. As he looks to you three and goes, you will be given accommodations. Later this evening over dinner, we will discuss further, and I will show you what I have found. But I think for now, the three of you deserve proper rest.
Hey, sounds good.
And
I haven't slept in bed and I don't know how long.
you all are led to sort of like a guest house, similarly to what you had in Emmanuel, except it's not made of stone. It's a bit larger as well, so you guys can have your own sort of private space to do with as you please while you stay for however long you plan on staying. But I believe this is a good time to end the session. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Chronicles of Umaria Chapter 1 Shadow Falls. We will see you next time, same place, and hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. Bye!
Goodbye.